sure has a lot of questions. If you look, you can see them everywhere. Use your mind to define energy and time. It's more than just some numbers on a page. Let's go with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion. Curiosity is the remedy. All you really need's velocity. Let's go with Sko. Professor Sko. Let's go with Sko. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Let's go with Sko. Professor Sko.
Okay, let's see. Marine biology should be... Oh, wait. Oh, hey! You're here! It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm on vacate. Well, no, I'm working. Yes, I'm working in the Florida Keys. I came down here to visit one of my most favorite scientists, Dr. Mick Walsh. She's a professor of marine science, which means that she does her sciencing underwater. Pretty cool, huh? She also teaches aquaculture classes and does research on marine ornamental species. She's a professor here at the College of the Florida Keys. Yeah, can you imagine going to college in the Keys? Sunsets, sunbathe, suntan lotion, and sciencing? It's like a dream come true. Oh, hey, would you like to come with me to meet Dr. Walsh? Okay, well, let's go. It's me!
Professor Sko, what are you doing here?
Oh, well, I'm on vacation. Actually, I'm working. Okay, I'm on a working vacation down here in the Keys. I thought I would take you up on your offer to visit your aquaculture lab.
Yeah, I get a lot of colleagues down here on working vacations. So here is my lab.
So cool.
Do you know what aquaculture is?
Well, I do, but do you know what aquaculture is? Dr. Welsh, will you explain it to our viewers?
Sure. Aquaculture is the growing of aquatic organisms, including fish and seaweeds.
Awesome!
So sometimes we call this fish farming. Here at the college, we focus on mostly the anemone fishes, or clownfish, and we teach and work with students to grow and produce them right here in our lab.
It's amazing.
These fish here are what we call our broodstock, or parent fish. We set them up with a little tile hut, and they like to lay their eggs inside. Look here in this pair, you can see eggs on the side tile on the wall.
Wow, you're right.
We leave the parents with the eggs for about 7 days, and at that point, we remove the tile and we put it in its own special hatch tank. In this way, we can monitor the egg development and the newly hatched larvae. Let me show you a hatch tank.
Yes, please. Come look.
So we set up these 10-gallon hatch tanks on the counter over here. As you can see, there's no filter on here for little new fish to get caught up on. We take that tile that was in that broodstock or parent system and we hang it down with a gentle flow of bubbles that help move and oxygenate the eggs until they hatch. Once the larvae or baby fish hatch, it's important to feed them the right size feed at the right time. First, you'll notice that some of these tanks are tinted a color green.
Yeah.
Right? So little tiny fish eat little tiny organisms. So we have to grow those tiny floating organisms, or plankton, phytoplankton, here in the lab. But those phytoplankton, animal plankton, actually need to eat as well. And so they eat special types of phytoplankton, or plant-like plankton. So in these buckets on the counter are a polyculture, or multiple culture, of organisms called rotifers and copepods. The bigger black dots are the copepods, and the little tiny dots in the background are rotifers.
Wow.
But to feed these guys, we have to grow the microalgae, or phytoplankton. What made the tanks green in the other room?
Right.
We have a special algae room just
cool.
to grow the phytoplankton.
Oh, beakers, come here.
In these flasks are live phytoplankton, or macroalgae. The phytoplankton, or microscopic plant-like algae, are what is making the water green in these flasks.
Very cool.
The microalgae are unicellular organisms, and they're small enough for those microscopic zooplankton to eat.
Awesome.
In this way, we establish a food chain. The light provides the energy source to spark photosynthesis that help the phytoplankton grow. The phytoplankton then supply the food for the zooplankton, such as the rotifers and the copepods. The rotifers and the copepods then provide the food for the baby larval fish.
Wow, that's just the complete food cycle.
Once the fish get large enough, after about 2 weeks old, we transition them onto an easier pelleted feed that we can just sprinkle in the tank.
Neat.
Once we transition the fish onto pelleted feeds, they get moved into a grow-out tank like this. And it's very easy to feed them. You can see this grow-out tank has a number of filters in it. Sponge filters, hang-on back filters, and we can even set up an automatic feeder. At this point, the fish will stay with us eating pelleted feeds until they reach about 2 inches in size. At that point, they're ready to be sold in pet stores.
Cool. Oh my gosh, Dr. Walsh, I'm so glad my friends and I came down to visit your aquaculture lab.
We are so happy to have you here.
Thanks. And honestly, between you and I, I'm partially on vacation from work, but mostly on vacation from my robots. Yeah, I love them, but they can be exhausting. Speaking of which, I better take this.
It's a lot more fun with a little commotion.
Hello? Oh, it's Sparky. Yeah, I'm visiting my professor friend. She teaches marine biology at a college. Rusty did what? Oh, beakers. Did you call the fire department? I see. How much did we lose? Okay, call our insurance adjuster. Yeah, she'll be expecting to hear from you. Wait, is that music we hear? Oh, you're just listening to the radio. Okay, well, keep an eye on everything, Sparky. Okay, bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Professor Sko.
Yeah?
I have an idea. My husband and I run a fish farm as a business from our house. Would you and your viewers like to come to Summerlin Ocean Life and see the fish farm we have there?
Yeah, oh my gosh. We'd love to. Oh, hey. Is it Dr. Walsh? Cool. I'm so glad we came down to science in the Florida Keys. This college is really neat. Okay, I'm gonna slip off for a quick slice of key lime pie, and then I will meet you at Dr. Walsh's house. See you next time, and remember, keep sciencing.
Everywhere, use your mind to define energy and time. It's more than just some numbers on a page. Let's go with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion.
Dr. Walsh. I'm here to work on the fish farm.
Hello, Professor Sko. It's not that kind of farm.
Well, what do you mean? We don't milk the fish?
No, we raise them here. But first, let me introduce you to Mr. Dr. Walsh, otherwise known as Travis.
Hi, Travis.
Hi, Professor Sko.
Can you show us around the fish farm?
Of course, you're gonna love sciencing here.
Awesome.
First of all, do you know when fish pee, it's not like when people pee?
No,
When fish,
they didn't teach us that in school.
when fish, people, or any animal eats food, that food is broken down and the proteins are restructured and reorganized into forms that the cells can use.
Oh, wow.
The waste products of that process include a lot of nitrogen. In people, that ultimate nitrogen product is urea, which we get rid of through our bottom halves when we pee. However, for fish, the end product is ammonia that they actually excrete most of through their gills.
What? That's just silly. And wait a tick. Is that the same kind of ammonia that we humans use to clean?
Yeah. So it could be pretty toxic if left in a tank. As the fish excrete the ammonia through their gills, over time in an aquarium, it could build up in the tank. And they're currently breathing it in and out through those gills. And that could be bad news for fish.
No bueno.
Luckily, there are naturally occurring bacteria in the environment that take that toxic ammonia and can convert it into less toxic forms.
Very cool.
In our aquarium system, we make sure that we have an area that's just filled with sponges and other materials that have lots of surface area to allow those naturally occurring bacteria to grow.
That is seriously cool.
It happens in a few steps. First, there are groups of bacteria, Nitrosomus and Nitrospirite bacteria, that take the ammonia and convert it into a less toxic substance called nitrite. Then there are more bacteria, Nitrospirite and Nitrobacter, that can take that nitrite and convert it into an even less toxic form, significantly less toxic, called nitrate.
Wow.
We get rid of the nitrate in our system by doing water changes or to fertilize algae. This algae is called Chaetomorpha. It takes that nitrate and it uses it as a fertilizer so it can grow.
Wow, Dr. Walsh, I am learning so much science from you. Can you also tell us about the fish tanks?
Sure, I'll let Travis tell you, because Travis built those systems.
Awesome.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you about the system. I built the tanks myself, but some of these filters I had to purchase.
Wow.
So this one right here is one of my favorites. This is what we call a protein skimmer. What it does is injects air into the water and mixes it all up into a foamy broth. All those nitrates and nitrogen that we were talking about before, they get stuck to those bubbles, float to the top, and then they skim off into this really nasty gooey stuff that collects and drains out into the bucket.
Yuck.
Have you ever been to the beach on a windy day?
Oh yeah, we sure have.
It's kind of the same thing. All that wind mixes into the waves and it creates that froth that blows up onto the beach.
So Travis, how long did it take you to set all of this up?
Well, it did take a while because I did it all myself, but it was a hobby of mine that I did after work. So it took about 4 years.
Oh, beakers.
Yeah, kind of a long time, but you know, it's something that I love to do, so it was a lot of fun.
Neat. Now, what do you enjoy most about having a fish farm?
Well, there's a lot to love about it. I think my favorite part is that it incorporates so many different kinds of science.
Oh, cool.
There's, of course, the plumbing, the biology, there's all kinds of fun electronics. There's so much fun stuff. What's not to love?
Wow. And I love that you two get to science together. I really appreciate you guys letting us visit.
Well, that's not fair.
What's not fair?
Well, you haven't gotten to see where I work.
Well, where do you work, Travis?
I work at the Key West Aquarium.
No way! That's like a giant fish farm, right?
Well, more like a museum with fish.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to visit the Key West Aquarium with Travis and I? Awesome. Okay, well, when can we visit?
Would you like to come tomorrow?
We would love that. Okay, well, should I bring my pail?
I think you could probably leave your pail behind.
Okay. Hey, is that your phone or my phone?
I don't think it's mine.
With a little commotion.
Oh, I think it's mine. Hello? Oh, hi, Sparky. Rusty did what? Oh, Beakers. That's really pretty major. Did you call the Department of Homeland Security? Uh-huh. I see. No, that's okay. Agent Juarez has my number.
Here's your drink. You want ice in that?
Wait a tick. Did someone just ask you if you wanted ice in your drink? Oh. Okay, right. Sure. Yeah, this cell connection isn't that good. Okay, Sparky. I'll talk to you later. Travis, not only am I taking some time off in the Keys from work, I'm also taking some time off from my robots. They really grind my gears.
Oh boy.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Wow, wasn't that seriously cool? Well, we better head out and grab a bite to eat. What do you say? Maybe some fish sticks? Ooh. Awkward. Okay, we better head out. Remember, keep sciencing.
With a little commotion, curiosity is the remedy. All you really need is velocity.
Wow. Look at all these sponges and coral. This is amazing. Oh, and look at that. Oh, hey, you're here. It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm sciencing down in the Florida Keys. One of the really cool things you can experience if you come to the Florida Keys is the Key West Aquarium. There are so many fascinating creatures here. You'll see moray eels, barracuda, lots of tropical fish, conch, sponges, and that's just to name a few. And hey, look at this. We can even touch them. Oh, wow.
Hey, Professor Sko.
Hey, Travis.
Glad to see you could make it.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Thanks for inviting us.
Well, of course.
And you know, we looked up your name and job title online, and it sounds really important. Manager of Operations at the Key West Aquarium?
Well, yeah, it is pretty cool, and it's a lot of fun.
Definitely not a job for Rusty. Oh, Beakers. I'm just gonna let that one go to voicemail. Okay, so tell us, what does the Manager of Operations do here?
Well, primarily, I make sure that we give the best care to all of our animals while still putting on presentations so that we can entertain guests and tell them and educate them about what these animals do in their native environment.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, what if one of our viewers want to be you one day? What do they have to do?
Well, to be me, it's pretty easy. I just followed my dreams.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what your favorite creature is here at the aquarium?
Well, I really don't even have to think about that one. My favorite's the jawfish.
Oh, cool. Tell us a little bit about the jawfish.
Well, what's really cool about the jawfish is that they burrow in the sand.
No way.
Yeah, so they dig little holes down under the rocks and they live in a burrow. And when the male and the female make babies, the male actually holds the eggs in his mouth.
Oh, Beakers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He'll hold them for up to 7 days until they hatch.
My goodness. Wow, and what other kind of creatures do you have here at the aquarium?
All kinds of stuff. We have sharks, rays, moray eels, all kinds of tropical fish, and of course, lots of invertebrates like urchins and conchs and some of these things you've already seen. Would you like to see some more?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's go.
And so this is the saltwater well.
Well, it doesn't look like much.
I see what you did there. Well, you're right. It really isn't that complicated. It's basically just a pipe that goes down into the ground about 75 feet.
Wow.
That's right, pretty deep. And because it's so deep, that water's really old. So we have to filter it before it's safe to use in our fish tanks. We pump that water all the way up to the top of that tower, 35
wow.
feet.
Beakers.
That's right. So 75 feet from underground to 35 feet above ground.
Wait, don't tell me. That's like 110 feet.
That's right.
These must be some really huge pumps, Travis.
That's right. 110 feet is what we call the head pressure. And so we need some really big pumps to push that water from all the way deep underground to the top of the tower.
Very cool.
Would you like to see those big pumps?
Huh, well, we'd love to.
All right, let's take a look.
Come on.
That's right, Professor Sko. Each one of these pumps is 15 horsepower.
Oh, beakers.
And we have 5 of them.
Holy shnikey. Okay, well, if you're pumping all of this water into the building, where does it leave the building?
That's right. It can't just go down the drain because we're built right at sea level. So we have to capture that water and take care of it.
Oh, wow.
So here we are above the grouper exhibit.
Cool.
So we pump all that water into each one of our tanks, but that water has to get pumped back out because we can't just let it go down the drain.
Right.
So what we do is we pump water up to this big pipe, and then that water drains out and down into the drainage basin outside.
Cool.
You want to check out the drainage basin?
We'd love to.
All right, let's go.
Let's go with Sko.
Well, here we are.
Okay.
This is the drainage basin.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, all that water that we pump into the aquarium comes back out, and it's all collected right here in the drainage basin.
Wow.
Once all that water's captured, then we take another pump and we pump it deep down underground into the limestone rock.
Oh, beakers.
That's right. Once it's down there, all that deep bacteria cleans that water, and then in a few years, it might come right back up our production well.
Wow, and then the cycle continues.
That's right.
Wow, thanks, Travis. I've learned so much science from you. And thanks for giving us a behind-the-scenes look at how the Key West Aquarium functions.
Let's go, let's go.
One moment.
Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go, let's go.
Hello? Hi, Sparky. What's going on? Rusty did what? Oh, beakers. You can't make a parachute out of a bed sheet? He knows that now? Oh boy. Okay, how much will his replacement parts cost? Fine, go ahead and order them. I'm Prime, they should be here tomorrow. Yeah, I order a lot of robot parts from Amazon. Okay, I'll talk to you. Hey, wait a tick. Is that a steel drum I hear in the background? Oh, okay. Well, this connection is really wonky anyways where I am. I'll talk to you later. What? Yeah. Yeah, you keep sciencing too. I tell you what, I'm a little nervous, but I really shouldn't worry. I'm sure Sparky is back up at Sko Labs working hard. Yeah. Oh, Well, I've really enjoyed getting so close with all of these creatures. I just wish I could get even closer. Maybe go underwater and be a part of their world for a while.
Well, I know the perfect thing for you.
What?
Well, down in the Keys, we have snorkeling and scuba diving. You can get up close and personal with any of the fish.
Okay, I love scuba diving.
Really? Well, that's easy. All you have to do is head up US 1. I know just the place you need to go.
Oh, thanks, Travis. And thanks for letting us visit the Key West Aquarium.
My pleasure. Your viewers are welcome anytime.
Awesome. All right, Sko fans. Are you ready to go underwater? Yeah, it's about to get really crazy in Sko World. Until next time, keep sciencing.
with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion. Curiosity is the remedy. All you really need's velocity.
Oh, hey! You're here! It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm down in the Florida Keys to go scuba diving. Our friend Travis sent me here to meet his friend and founder of DiveN2Life, Dr. Kama Cannon. I can't wait to do this.
Hey, you must be the professor.
And you must be Dr. Cannon, the Director of Education and Dive Safety Officer. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Well, I hear that your scuba sessions actually start with a pool party. What do you think? I brought all my stuff.
Well, it's not actually that kind of pool party, but I like that outlook. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's get you some dive gear.
All right, let's go. setup?
Absolutely. So first you're going to want to take your BC, your buoyancy compensator, and attach it to your tank with your big strap.
Okay.
And then you'll also attach the safety strap just for a little precaution in case this one has any issues. Then you're going to want to attach your first stage, which has a ton of hoses coming out, and I'll show you each one.
Yeah.
So this is your primary regulator. It's what you use most of the time when you're diving.
Okay.
This is your secondary. It's just a backup for yourself or your buddy if there were to be an emergency. And on this side, it's connected to your inflator hose, which can be inflated like that and deflated like that. And that'll help control your buoyancy underwater.
Okay.
So how much you're floating up and down.
Yes.
And finally, you've got your gauge, which tells you how much air you have. And some also have a compass function or a depth gauge.
Very cool.
All right, and the reason that we have our first stage is just to reduce the pressure of the air coming from the tank so that you can breathe it successfully while you're underwater.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing all that. What else do I need to know before I go scuba diving?
A good place for you to go would be to Marina and Cameron's buddy check, right over this way.
Okay, let's go with Sko.
Hey guys, can you help Professor Sko with a buddy check?
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Professor Sko.
Can you walk me through it, please?
Of course. So we do a buddy check every time we go diving to understand what our buddy has, and so we're prepared for it. So Marina, go ahead and walk me through your gear.
So I have in my gauge, pressure gauge, I have 2,900 psi, so that's the amount of air I can breathe underwater. And then I'm gonna have 2 weights in my trim pockets, so this is gonna help me with my position underwater. And then I'm gonna have another 2 pounds on each pocket down here. And I'll have a total of 8 pounds, which is gonna help me go down because our wetsuit is it's buoyant. I also have a little pocket right here with a mesh, so if I need to, like, if I find any debris, I'll put it down here.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I am not carrying any sea snips or any compass, and that's pretty much my gear here.
Okay, so on my gear, I'm starting off with 3,000 psi. I have a secondary regulator in case of emergencies.
Okay.
I keep 2 1-pound weights in my back trim pockets.
Now, how do you both know how much weight to keep in your BC?
It's kind of a hit or miss deal. So you go out there, you dive a lot, and you figure out what you need.
Okay, perfect.
I keep 2 3-pound weights in my pockets. I also keep a safety reel and surface marker buoys in case of emergencies underwater. So I can send that up and the captain will know where I'm at.
Okay.
I also keep a noise signaling device in case I lose my buddy. They can hear that underwater. So our gear is kind of the same, but different in little ways.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
Hey, Cora. Hey, I just got this new Mara's Puck Pro dive computer. Can you tell me how to use it and set it up?
Absolutely. So on the Mara's Puck Pro, there's just one button. On some computers they have more, but for this one, all you have to do is click it and it's on.
Cool.
It'll tell you the time. We have it set in 24-hour time. So right now it is 6:37, and it'll also give you other information about your depth, surface interval time, and the temperature outside. This can also be changed just by pressing the button again, and you can look at mode, set, log, etc. There's a whole bunch of functions that you can use.
Why is it so important that a scuba diver has a dive computer?
Well, back in the day before these existed, people used dive tables and things like that to kind of set up their dives so that they would be diving within their safe limits.
Okay.
So that you wouldn't get decompression sickness. Back then they called it the bends, but decompression sickness is more of an over-encompassing.
Can you explain to our viewers what decompression sickness is?
Sure. So when you spend too much time at depth at different levels, your body absorbs too many gases, which can cause all sorts of different health concerns, from bubbles in your blood or your arteries or even in your lungs.
Okay.
So there are a lot of safety precautions there, and dive computers are super helpful because they tell you exactly how long and how deep you can be down while still diving safely.
Very cool. Well, thank you both.
Yeah, here you go. It should be all set up.
Thank you, Kara.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to go scuba diving.
Let's do it.
Go.
Go with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko.
Holy shnikes! There is so much science involved in scuba diving. And to think that divers used to just connect a hose to the boat to breathe. Yeah, it was just like a giant snorkel or straw that they would use to breathe through. These self-contained underwater breathing apparatuses, or scuba for short, were a big breakthrough. Can you imagine being underwater for over an hour? That's only possible through the power of science. I just can't wait. I'm gonna be underwater breathing just like the fishes.
Let's go with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more.
Hi, Rusty. How did you get my so great to hear from you. What's going on? Sparky did what? Oh no, actually, that's okay. I know, but I told her not to let you take the speed governor off the Sko-mobile. No, I don't know why you're telling on her. She's not doing anything wrong. Okay, listen. I have a question for you. Hey, Rusty, do you know who invented scuba gear? What? Scuba Doo? Oh! First of all, that's not the cartoon's name. And secondly, it would be a copyright infringement to write it into the script. Okay, I've got to get back to sciencing. Don't call me. Thanks for calling, Rusty. Do you know who first invented the scuba concept and made it work? Don't know? Go to ProfessorSko.com and click on In the Know to find out. Okay, Dr. Kama, I think I'm ready for the pool. What do you think?
Let me look you over. You look great. It's Sko time.
So to get in the water, we're going to do a giant strike. To do that, we're going to put both feet on the edge of the pool, and I'm going to hold your tank and make sure the air is fully open. Then you're going to hold your mask with the right hand, and then hold the strap of your mask with the left hand, just so when you jump in, the mask doesn't fall off.
Okay.
You're also going to make sure that your BC is fully inflated. Carol already did that. Yep, perfect. And then you're going to make sure that there's no divers in the water. And then you're going to take a big step, and then I'm going to send you off. And then once in the water, she's going to give me the big okay to make sure that everything was okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sounds good. Put both feet on the edge. Make sure your BC is fully inflated. There you go. I'll put more air. Awesome. Then put your mask on. Amazing. Then with your right hand, secure your mask. And then with the left hand, secure the strap, and then take a big step. Whenever you're ready. Perfect.
breathing underwater. I'm so glad I got scuba certified by Tom Laird's Underwater Service in Muncie, Indiana. He's a rock star in the scuba world. Well, I'm gonna get a little more practice. My friends say that next it's off to the Big Blue. For real! You won't want to miss this, Sko fans. Until next Saturday, keep sciencing underwater.
Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go, let's go. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion. Curiosity is the melody.
Oh, hey! You're here! It's me, Professor Sko. Can you believe this? We are going out to the only coral reef in the continental United States. Pretty cool, huh? The great thing about diving a reef is that you never know what you're going to see. Coral reefs are extremely important to the ocean's ecosystem. They have more biodiversity life than any other marine habitat. Yet, they make up less than 1/10 of 1% of our ocean's floor. And newsflash, coral is not just a rock. It's an amazing community of living organisms. Yeah, and there's so many different types. American Samoa in the Pacific Ocean has over 250 different kinds of coral in just that one location alone. We will be diving off of New Key in the Florida Keys, a popular dive destination for both new and experienced divers. It's basically a national park underwater. Wow! I don't know what we're gonna see, but I do know it's home to surgeonfish, parrotfish, and barracuda. Hey, here's a question for you. The Florida Keys is a well-known tourist destination in the United States. Do you know where the word key comes from? Don't know? Go to ProfessorSko.com and click on In the Know to find out. Go. Beakers. Wow.
Go. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion.
Hello? Hi, Sparky. Rusty did what? Okay. I know we won't be invited back to that school again. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Hey. What's that? Is that a flicker? Oh, who's making something in a flicker? Huh? Okay. Whatever. I have to get back to my dive. Back to sciencing. Talk to you soon. I'm sure. Bye. Hey, would you like to go scuba diving with me? Awesome. Okay, it's time to go on board the boat for a pre-dive check. That's what Sparky would want us to do. It's Sko time.
Okay, Professor Sko, let's get you into some gear.
Awesome.
First off, you're wearing a wetsuit, I see. So, a wetsuit makes you buoyant in salt water. So we're gonna have to get you some weight to get you to the bottom.
Okay.
Come with me. So, we don't like any dangly bits out on the reef. It could harm our coral reefs in very many ways. So we like to tuck everything in here. And then for our secondary, we keep it in this nice neon octo keeper.
And our secondary is just in case of an emergency?
Just in case of an emergency. Say if this one doesn't work or you have to help out a buddy, that's what it's there for.
Okay.
You're ready to go diving.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, Sko fans, it's Sko time.
define energy and time. It's more than just some numbers on a page. Let's go with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion.
Oh, hey, you're here. It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm sciencing down in the Florida Keys. How cool is that? If you saw our last video, then you know how off the charts amazing it is to dive a coral reef. The underwater world is amazing. As cool as it is though, it's also endangered. Coral reefs in the United States are in danger of becoming extinct. Only 1 to 3% are still alive today. But there is a glimmer of good news. Want to know what that is? You can play a part in helping bring them back to life. Yeah, no matter where you live, you can play a part. Pretty soon, you'll see a Professor Sko Combo, where we talk to some amazing scientists whose sciencing involves restoring damaged reefs. They are going to tell us the danger of plastics that don't make it to the landfill. Want proof? Check this out. My friend Kara is here diving in the Florida Keys and finds this. Can you believe it? It's just a big hunk of plastic waiting to be accidentally eaten by a sea turtle or some other form of sea life that thinks it's underwater plant life. But what if you don't scuba dive or even live near Florida? No problemo. Even if you live in Nebraska or Idaho or Indiana, make sure your plastic is biodegradable, or at least makes it to the appropriate landfill. Better yet, use paper products whenever possible, because paper is biodegradable and renewable. Pretty cool, huh? Our friends at Moat Marine Laboratories are helping transplant colonies of coral to regrow portions of the reef. Take a look at this. It's a tag that helps marine biologists measure the growth of coral to determine its health and ability to revitalize this beautiful underwater garden of life. Hey, here's a question for you. Do you know the longest coral reef in the world? Don't know? Go to ProfessorSko.com and click on In the Know to find out. Check this out. Here's our friends from DiveN2Life working on something called coral fragmenting, or as the cool kids call it, fragging. Coral grows extremely slowly, but clipping it, just like pruning a bush on land, helps the coral grow much faster. You see Cameron with the clippers fragging the coral, while Kara strings them with fishing line, almost like she's making a Christmas ornament out of live coral. They hang those ornaments on what's called a coral tree. This is called baby coral. Isn't that cute? On a tree, the baby coral grows nice and fast until they get fragged again. That's when they take all the little pieces of coral and plant them onto rock, called substrate. Once the coral is ready to place onto the rock, they are called implants. Here, scraping the substrate, or rock, cleans it of all macroalgae that can interfere with the coral's growth, giving those implants a nice, clean place to grow. reefs are damaged, it takes a lot of work by a lot of people to save them and get them healthy again. I hope you enjoyed seeing how all of these good people are donating their time to help keep Florida's coral reefs alive. Until next time, keep sciencing!
With Sko, vectors, friction, motion. Let's go.
You know what?
Sko.
I love scuba diving so much, and I want you to love it as much as I do. So here's a few minutes to showcase the wonders of nature underwater. No music, no special effects, just the amazing beauty of nature. Enjoy the swim. Oh my gosh, wasn't that incredible? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thanks for joining me. Well, I better get back to my sciencing. Until next time, Sko fans, keep sciencing underwater.
Let's go with Sko, vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion. Curiosity is the remedy.
Oh, hey, you're here. It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm at the Moat Marine Lab in the Florida Keys. They do some serious sciencing here. I'm here to attend a class on coral. We're also going to meet some really, really cool students with DiveN2Life. We're going to find out all about their research. One of our students here is Kara.
Hey everyone, my name is Cara and I'm super excited to show y'all around and what we're up to.
Let's go! So Cara, can you start by telling our viewers, how long have you been with DiveN2Life?
So I planned to start diving when I was 10, but Hurricane Irma kind of caused a little bit of a delay. So when I was 11, I got certified to dive through DiveN2Life, and ever since then, I've been diving and doing science on a weekly basis, and I'm 15 now.
Wow. And what is it that you ultimately want to do when you grow up?
I'm trying to keep my scope super open, give myself lots of experience in the marine field in general, but ultimately I'd like to be a marine scientist.
Very cool. So can you tell us a little bit about your research?
Absolutely. So I just started interning this summer at Moat Marine Lab. We are a partner with DiveN2Life, but this is kind of a separate thing. So what I do is every week I come and check on the corals, I clean out their tanks, and make sure that all of them are super healthy, not bleaching, paling, or diseased, because it's really important to Moat's research as a whole that they're doing healthy, or just to kind of monitor how they're doing.
Very cool. Now, what do you enjoy most about studying with DiveN2Life?
I really love when we get to go out diving and doing field work. So really seeing that what I'm doing is making an impact. So out planting corals or treating them, or even lab work where you can really see that what you're doing is making a difference.
Now, will this coral here that you're working with, will that eventually go back out to the reef?
Absolutely. So this is kind of where they grow up. It's like their preschool. They're getting bigger, they grow bigger every day, and over time they will grow to about the size of their plug. As you can see, they may have started off just being a tiny little speck on there, but over the months and the years, they get super, super big. So once they're large enough, we will bring them out to the reef and actually plant them.
Cool. Now, a lot of our viewers are young people. What advice would you give them if they're interested in science or just being underwater?
Well, I would say that no matter where you are or who you are, your age or your location, you can really make a difference and you can also get out on the water. So even if it's a lake or a river, everything kind of is like a big family. Everything's pretty similar. So what you can learn while you're swimming in a river or in a lake, you can apply once you get the opportunity to be in the ocean. So even if you're not lucky enough like I am to live in the Keys on the coast, you can take advantage of the opportunities that you have at home.
Wow. Well, thanks so much, Gar, for introducing us. I'm sorry. Gotta take this. Let's go. Hello?
Key West Police Department.
Key West Police Department?
Yes, you own 2 robots.
Well, yes. I do own 2 robots.
Causing incidences on the
No, there's gotta be some kind of mistake. My robots are back in Sko Labs.
You sure?
They've been calling me all week.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry to
No,
inconvenience you.
it's fine. It's really no convenience at all.
Bye.
Bye. Huh. Okay.
Coral ID, coral ecology, what the coral reef is, what it's not, because there's a lot of misperceptions about what a coral reef actually is. Can you believe some people think it's like a rock? A rock! It's not a rock, but guess what? Someday it will be. But anyway, that's for a whole other lesson. Why?
Oh, hey, you're all here, and you're early.
No, you're late again.
Okay, just sit over here then.
Okay. So let's go ahead and assess, especially in Florida, provides habitat for. Cameron.
Fish, all our fish wildlife in our ocean down here in the Florida Keys.
Okay, what fish? What are you talking about? What kind of fish? Like tuna fish?
Now, mostly fish that live on the reef, such as barracudas, things of that sort. Provides a home for your little clown.
I'm sorry, Professor Sko, is that a note?
Oh, no.
Why don't you share it with the whole class?
Dr. Cannon isn't cool enough to wear slinkies in her hair?
Well, it is a unique look for a very special person. All right. Another element that we talk about a lot, especially here in the Florida Keys, is that our coral reef supports fishing and the tourism industry. Can you provide an example of that, Serena?
Well, since coral reefs allow fish to live on them, and fishermen and tourism, like tour boats, they go out and they fish, and these tour boats get paid and they help our economy since we live in Florida and our state is surrounded by water. So
West Police Department.
fishing is a very
Key West Police Department.
industry.
Do you own 2 robots?
Yeah, it really sustains our,
You sure?
our local population. I don't know, how many of you have gone fishing?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I really don't want to be a bother, but I need to go check on something. I think it's best that I just leave. Hello? Sparky? Yeah, it's me. Where are you guys right now? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. What? Oh, no reason. I just wanted to... Wait, what was that? Are you listening to Jimmy Buffett in the lab? Oh, okay. Well, I'll talk to you later. Bye, Sparky. Hey, you're here! It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm here with Cameron, one of the really, really cool students who's a part of DiveN2Life. So Cameron, how long have you been studying with DiveN2Life?
So I've been studying with DiveN2Life for the past 5 years about.
And what made you become interested in diving?
Well, when I went to go first get certified, I met Kama, the leader of the program, and she told me about her program that she runs, and I was just so intrigued by the stuff that they do.
So what are some of the things that you're studying here with DiveN2Life?
So we study the corals that build up our Florida's reef down here and why they are endangered and what's wrong with them.
Interesting. Now, what do you hope to do when you grow up?
Well, I want to go into technical diving, so this is a great pathway to this, and that's why I do it.
Excellent. So, for our viewers at home, what advice would you give to them for somebody else who's interested in underwater science?
So, for you guys, I would give you the best advice is to take every shot that you get. Any science clubs, programs, anything you have a chance to do would be great.
Awesome. Thank you, Cameron.
Yep.
Hey, Sko fans. It's me, Professor Sko, and I have another friend of mine with DiveN2Life. You want to meet her? Awesome. This is Kate. Now, Kate, how long have you been studying with DiveN2Life?
This is actually my first summer with DiveN2Life.
Really? And how did you get involved with it?
I became open water and advanced open water scuba certified in previous years, but through Moat Marine Lab, I found out about DiveN2Life, and I'm really interested in the scientific diving and the opportunities it provides.
Excellent. So here at Moat Lab, what kind of research do you do?
Here at Moat, I help with the coral restoration team. So I help take care of the coral. I cut it into little pieces for outplanting on the reef so it can grow into bigger coral. And I also clean the coral every day, feed the coral, check on its health, make sure it's doing okay.
Awesome. And so for our viewers at home, what advice would you give them if they're also interested in marine science?
I would tell you to take any scientific opportunities you have. That's how I got involved with Moat, and it's how I got involved with DiveN2Life.
Wow, that is great advice. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
It's a lot more fun with a little commotion. Curiosity is the remedy.
Hey, Sko fans. It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm at the Key West Aquarium. I want you to meet two of my new friends. This is Priscilla. And you are about to meet Lola, the turtle. Now, Priscilla, can you tell us what happened to Lola?
Yeah, so Lola is a Kempsfordley sea turtle. They are the smallest species of sea turtle in the world. So she's about 63 pounds. She'll max at about 100 one day. Lola was found back in 2001 on a beach in Texas, and she was found with fishing line wrapped around her front right flipper. So the flipper, they rescued her, took her in. The flipper did have to be amputated. They attempted to release Lola a year later, but she was found on the same beach that she was released on the very next day. So at that point, she was deemed non-releasable. So that's been since 2002, and she's been here with us since 2008 now.
Wow. So can you tell us a little bit about the process of putting the prosthetic limb on Lola?
Yeah, of course. So we try to make all of our interactions with our sea turtles voluntary. So this right here is Lola's target. So the idea of the target is that it goes in the water, and then the turtle will do what we call a station. So all that is them just approaching that target. Once they do that, they get a reward, which is food. What that does is that just gets them to associate this target with something rewarding. It also gets them to associate us with something rewarding. So once this target goes in, as you can see what we just did a second ago, she'll hang out at the target. As long as she's getting fed, she just lets us put that prosthetic on. We'll give her a couple more rewards, and then we'll send her off. And she'll swim around with it. She'll do a couple of laps, and she wears it right now for up to 2 hours. So one day she'll have it on for about 4 hours a day. That's our goal.
Wow. And who designed the prosthetic limb?
So the original prosthetic, which was 6 years ago, was designed by 3 students from Oyster Polytech. And they were just doing a senior project, and they wanted to make a prosthetic flipper for a sea turtle. And Lola was a really good candidate because the area was very small, and it was, you know, amputated by a doctor, so it was just a really good option, and it turned out really good. But that project was led by a man named Kevin Carroll, and I don't know if you've ever heard the story about Winter the dolphin.
No, but we'd love to.
Yeah, so there's a movie called Dolphin Tales. It's a really awesome movie, and it just tells the story of Winter the dolphin. And she lost her flipper, and Kevin Carroll came and made her a prosthetic flipper, and it was very successful. So he actually came here and donated all of his time and materials, and did the same for Lola. So her original flipper was given to her about 6 years ago, but 2 years ago he came and outfitted her for this one, which is the permanent version of what we'll be using on her. And we have a bunch of extras. It's worked out really good, so it's just basically been perfected to fit her and what she liked.
It's so cool to see what you've done for Lola.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
And thank you for joining us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Well, let's say goodbye to Priscilla and Lola.
Bye.
Oh, hey, you're here. It's me, Professor Sko, and I want to talk to you about the amazing wildlife here in the Florida Keys. The Keys are an archipelago that is rich in diverse animal life. one of these creatures is very famous here. Did you know Key West is sometimes referred to as the Conch Republic? Yeah, the word conch actually means shell. What is a Key West conch? Let's test your knowledge and see if you know. It might be referring to the large sea snail that lives inside this shell and in the depths of the Gulf of Mexico surrounding the Florida Keys. Or it may refer to Key West natives, the first settlers and the longtime residents of Key West. Sounding the conch shell horn, or blowing the conch, is a long-time tradition in the Conch Republic, used to call attention to an important event or celebration.
All aboard!
The bouncing air inside a conch shell produces a unique sound like that of the ocean. Yeah, isn't that crazy? They also have beautiful shells. And if you don't mind me saying, conch fritters are delicious. Next, let's meet a new friend named Turkey. This may get a little confusing because he isn't really a turkey. He's a tortoise that lives at the Key West Aquarium.
So this is Turkey the tortoise. He's a red-footed tortoise. He's about 22 years old now. These guys are native to the grasslands of South America. Turkey was previously a pet to a past employee, and she had to leave the Keys and needed a good home for him, and of course we offered. He actually has two siblings in our other area too, Alan and Delilah. So these guys eat veggies. I don't really know what else to say now. It's perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of for him. It's always good to also point out like the difference between a turtle and a tortoise. So turtles have webbed toes made for swimming. They also have really smooth shells, kind of like Lola inside. And then tortoises have these big, almost elephant-looking like feet. And then they always have kind of like a rough or bumpy shell. Turkey does have some pyramiding on his shell, which isn't generally normal. It's probably a deficiency in his diet from his previous owner. But it doesn't hurt him or do anything like that. But the main difference between the turtle and the tortoise is that turtles swim and tortoises do not. So this guy definitely doesn't swim. He'll submerge himself in the water and take a bath and cool off and drink water. But that's the only time you'll see him in the water.
Well, thanks for introducing us here to Turkey.
Of course.
Another fascinating fact about the Florida Keys, at the extreme tip of Florida is the only place in the world where alligators and crocodiles cohabitate, meaning they share the same geographic area. To distinguish the two, alligators have a more U-shaped snout, while crocodiles have a more pointed or V-shaped one. In addition, alligators are black, while crocodiles are usually a lighter grayish brown. Crocodiles exist both in freshwater and saltwater, whereas alligators prefer freshwater environments. Finally, the key deer are an endangered species of deer that are just too cute for words. They are only about the size of a German Shepherd, and because they are protected, they are not at all afraid of people. In fact, it's against the law to even touch one of them.
These key deer are a subspecies of the white-tailed deer. It's pretty cute, huh? These key deer used to roam all around the lower Florida Keys, but now their main home is Big Pine Key. These key deer tend to eat mangrove trees and thatch palm berries. The National Wildlife Federation has worked hard to protect these key deer. And thatch palm berries. The National Wildlife Federation has worked hard to protect these key deer as they've become endangered with less than 1,000 remaining. Pretty cute, huh?
Curiosity is the remedy. All you really need's velocity. Let's go, Professor.
Oh, hey, you're here. It's me, Professor Sko, and I'm in the Florida Keys. Pretty cool place to be sciencing if you're on a working vacation. Yeah, there is so much science here. But in addition to that, there's history, music, food, and just some seriously fun stuff. Yeah, and kids, if you do come to visit, don't worry. There is plenty for your parents to get into, so you don't have to worry about them bothering you. Would you like to explore the Florida Keys with me? Awesome! Well, let's go with Sko.
The Mel Fisher Maritime Museum in Key West contains an extensive collection of artifacts from 17th century shipwrecks. The museum is named for founder Mel Fisher, an American treasure hunter. He is best known for finding the 1622 Etosha shipwreck in Florida waters. And get this, it is not only a museum, but a lab and a research center. Ever wonder what's the difference between a regular lime and the famous key lime? A key lime is smaller, more yellow, and has a less tart and more sweet flavor than a regular lime. Key lime pie is the official pie for the state of Florida. They say key lime pie originated in Key West, sometime towards the end of the 1800s. There are so many different and yummy ways to enjoy this tasty dessert. Holy shnikes! Did you know that you can actually mail a coconut from anywhere in the Florida Keys? Yeah, seriously! As long as the coconut contains both a proper address label and sufficient postage, the United States Postal Service will literally mail it for you. Yeah, the coconut will arrive, as is, in their mailbox. Pretty cool, huh? I can't wait to surprise Sparky and Rusty at Sko Labs. The Key West Tropical Forest and Botanical Gardens have a collection of Cuban refugee boats. The wet foot, dry foot policy allowed Cuban refugees who made it to U.S. soil to stay in the country. These small, open boats are referred to as chugs.
These were made out of any industrial material that could be made to float. Many were even powered by car engines. Yeah, these boats are a true testament to the desire people had to seek a different life. Duval Street is the main drag of downtown Key West. It runs north to south from the Gulf of Mexico to the Atlantic Ocean. It includes restaurants, shops, and world-famous attractions. Walk just 1 block off Duval Street and you will be standing at mile marker 0. Here we are at the Ernest Hemingway Home and Museum in Key West. Ernest Hemingway is an American novelist. I read his novel, The Old Man and the Sea, when I was just a little skittle. It examines our place in the world while exploring our need for survival. Oh, a unique and extraordinary feature of this home is actually the pool. Yeah, built between 1937 and 1938 at the staggering cost of $20,000. It was the first in-ground pool in Key West and the only pool within 100 miles. Oh, and get this! The Ernest Hemingway Home and Museum has approximately 60 polydactyl or 6-toed cats. Yeah, you heard that right. Oh, beakers! Check this out, Sko fans! Key West is known for being the southernmost city, and we have reached the southernmost point of the continental United States. This is an iconic photo op. Key West is a tiny island, only about 1 mile wide and 4 miles long. Yeah, and Cuba is 90 miles away. We are actually closer to Cuba than to the nearest Walmart. Holy shnikes! All right, Super Sko fans. Next week, we wrap up our Florida Keys science expedition series. We finish off with the most beautiful sunset ever. See you next Saturday. Hi Sko fans and Skittles, it's time for our big finale in the Florida Keys. But first, a quick recap of the amazing sciencing experiences we've had. Of course, there were plenty of interruptions from Rusty and Sparky.
With Sko, it's a lot more fun with a little commotion.
Hello? Oh, it's Sparky. Yeah, I'm visiting my professor friend. She teaches marine biology at a college. Rusty did what? Oh, I think it's mine. Hello? Oh, hi Sparky. Rusty did what? What's going on? Rusty did what? Oh, Beakers. You can't make a parachute out of a bed sheet? He knows that now? Oh boy. Hi, Rusty. How did you get my so great to hear from you. What's going on? Sparky did what? Oh no, actually, that's okay. I know, but I told her not to let you take the speed governor off the Sko mobile. No, I don't know why you're telling on her. She's not doing anything wrong. Hi, Sparky. Rusty did what? Okay, I know we won't be invited back to that school again. Yeah, she'll be expecting to hear from you. Wait, is that music we hear? Oh, you're just listening to the radio. Okay, well, keep an eye on everything, Sparky.
Here's your drink. You want ice in that?
Wait a tick. Did someone just ask you if you wanted ice in your drink? Oh, okay, right, sure. Yeah, this cell connection isn't that good. Okay, I'll talk to you. Hey, wait a tick. Is that a steel drum I hear in the background? Thanks for letting me know. Hey, what's that? Is that a blender? Who's making something in a blender? Sko. Hello?
Key West Police Department.
Key West Police Department?
Yes, you own 2 robots.
Well, yes. I do own 2 robots. No, there's gotta be some kind of mistake. My robots are back in Sko Labs. Sparky? Yeah, it's me. Where are you guys right now? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. What? Oh, no reason. I just wanted to... Wait, what was that? Are you listening to Jimmy Buffett in the lab?
Yeesh. I am so glad I didn't bring them to the Keys with me. It's been amazing so far, but everybody comes to Key West for the spectacular sunsets. So, what do you say? Let's do this.
My workday is done, so I've come to Mallory Square for the sunset celebration. But the real party begins hours before the sunset. There's talented musicians, acrobats, escape artists, jugglers, tightrope walkers, animal acts. It's incredible. Mallory Square and Key West are known for having some of the most beautiful sunsets in all the world. Have you ever wondered why sunsets appear red? If you remember from our earlier video, Let's Go Light It Up, different colors have different wavelengths. Red light has a longer wavelength than violet light. When the sun sets, it is low on the horizon. This means that the light rays have to travel through even more atmosphere. More atmosphere means more molecules to scatter the shorter wavelengths of blue and violet light away from our eyes, leaving behind the longer wavelengths of orange and red light that reach our eyes. Pretty cool, huh? And kids, if you ever lose your parents down in Key West, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna find them right here in Mallory Square. Hello? Oh, hi Sparky. Yeah, I've been sciencing pretty hard. Right now? Oh, I was just talking with our viewers about atmospherics. You know, sunsets and stuff. Like I said, I was visiting a colleague at a college. Why do you need to know when I'm gonna be home? I see, yes. I'll be home tomorrow night, so you have a little bit of time. Be sure to have the lab cleaned up when I come in. Oh, I hear you guys moving stuff. Sounds like you're cleaning the lab already. Keep up the great work. Okay, I gotta run, Sparky. Bye.
Sure has a lot of questions. If you look, you can see them everywhere. Use your mind to define energy and time. It's more than just some numbers on a page. Let's go with Sko. Vectors, friction, motion. Let's go with Sko. It's a lot more fun with a little commotion. Curiosity is the remedy. All you really need's velocity. Let's go with Sko, Professor Sko. Let's go with Sko. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Let's
is so much science here.